Good morning, Facebook. As always, I greet you as I treat you in 360 degrees of peace in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum to the supreme angels of Master Prophet Muhammad Salam Allah. I'm heading to work a little late today. Two reasons. I had to put my car in the shop. I think it was the alternator or one of the computer components that was damaged by that pothole on 76. En route to AutoZone to check to see what was causing the battery to, say that there was a charging malfunction. It died. So I had to get towed to an auto repair shop. That's where my car at now, so I'm waiting to see what the damage is going to do. So my morning conversationals until I get my car back is going to be here and there, but I'm going to still have them, God willing. I want to take the opportunity to challenge a myth, right? And to expose an element of tricknology. The Honorable Muhammad teaches us that Moses came to teach them the forgotten tricknology, right? So that, when they were in the caves and they lost a sizable portion of the knowledge of themselves and their mission that was given to them by Yaqub, they had to be retaught the forgotten tricknology. Now, what is tricknology? Tricknology in a word or definition, to make it simple for those who the term is either new to them or strange to them, is tricking someone's knowledge. Just that simple. That's what tricknology is. A lie isn't a creation without any substance connected to it. A lie is misdirecting your information about the truth and then giving you a false perception of it, so that the person who lies can then control you by the fable or the folklore or the fairy tale or the deceit that they have, spawned into your ears. So how do we spot tricknology, right? Let's look on a grand scale, right? So that we can then look on a minor scale and see how it grows to be great. Messenger Elijah Muhammad said that fractions are taught to us first because we were a part before we were a whole, right? But we're so caught up in fractions now that being a part of this and a part of that and being apart from one another, it's often hard for us to see the whole picture, right? In chess, we say there's 64 squares on a chessboard, but the 65th square is the ability to see the entire board. When we look internationally at our adversary, right, and his tactics, what we learn is they covet what's considered to be the best things for themselves that gives them a strategic advantage over everybody. And then they come up with a narrative that they feed to the world that makes everyone else fear other people having that, but not them having it. They're responsible with it, so they have to be the ones that can control it. And the easiest place that you can see this is with nuclear weapons, right? Like right now, the country is engaged in a war with Iran because they believe that Iran is close to, procuring nuclear weapons. and they're an irresponsible country. They cannot have nuclear weapons, but America and Israel can. No, that's not my issue. My issue is that this has always been the narrative that they talked and having talking points with other societies around the world to dismantle those societies. That technology, that information, the ability to have something that creates leverage is a boogeyman that they can't have. But they can have it, but other people cannot. And I'm using this as an example because they're using today the ideology of AI the same way, right? You even hear our people taking on these same arguments, seeing AI as something that's going to ultimately consume the world, right? And the mentality of most people is AI is a threat, AI is an enemy, right? And it's like, they are using AI, and they have always been using AI. It's just recently slipped into the public forum so that the average person can gain access to AI. So in order to curb people's usage of AI, they push forth the narrative that AI is a threat to other people's jobs. AI is a threat to humanity, that it's going to take over, you know what I mean? And, we got to fight against it. So there is this growing consensus among the everyday person that AI is a threat, in the same way that nuclear weapons is a threat in the hands of the wrong people, but not in the hands of our government. So I want you to know that that's Tricknology, right? The same people who will say that AI is a problem don't have a problem with guns, right? They'll covet guns for themselves, for personal protection and for community protection and for nation protection, you know what I mean? But AI is a threat. AI is no more of a threat than guns are. AI is no more a threat than food is. AI is no more a threat than cars are. You know what I mean? Or any other technology or item that has been made by man for the use of man in promoting man's society. We really have to understand this science of Tricknology and how it has been used to suppress our ability to level the playing field and surpass our opponents. I use AI, right? And I don't use AI as if AI is God. AI is a device. It's an extension of your arm or your limb. It's a fork and a spoon. It's a butter knife and a steak knife, right? It is a shoestring and a belt. It is a glove and a hat and a scarf. It is the key to my front door and the key to my car and the key to my office. It's an instrument that allows me to either get where I'm trying to go and do what I'm trying to do. No more do I think that AI can pose a threat to me, you know what I mean, in my own hands, right? Then I think that my keys can pose a threat to me in my own hands. Now, if I lose my keys and somebody gain access to my keys and they slip into my house, yeah, the threat isn't the keys. The threat is the person who gained access to my keys. So there's definitely a possibility that people can use AI and are constantly using AI right now to push a whole bunch of things online that's a threat to us. But AI is not the threat. The people who are misusing it is. This is my thought for y'all this morning, to understand that Tricknology is a person or people's ability to trick your knowledge of how you perceive things so as to curb your access to things that can give you equal footing or leverage to rise above, the oppression or the challenges that you face in this world. Messenger Elijah Muhammad said that knowledge is a force or energy that makes us bearer able to overcome bearer obstacles and resistance. He said that the knowledge that our people need is that knowledge of the attribute of God. An attribute is a conduit in which power and influence manifests itself through. And in that vein, AI can be one of those conduits. It can be one of those attributes, that allow us to show our power and our ingenuity. It may surprise some people that some of the most adept people in AI are actually African people. Across the world, people in India can scour a dump site and take old phones and refurbish them. People in Africa is doing the same thing. The stuff that we throw away, they able to get it, clean it, and turn it into something not just usable, but better than the first product that was produced. And this is all artificial intelligence is. It's your ability to put your intelligence into something else and then make your intelligence move while you're over here doing something else. And if that's the case, a book is AI. This is Joshua Sadi. This is my morning conversational. I love y'all and I treat y'all as I teach y'all in 306 degrees of peace. Assalamu alaikum and salam alaikum. Enjoy your morning.